My most immediate concern is saving agriculture in this country. Only this morning we heard the appalling personal stories of 40 farmers and others whose family businesses were stolen and who were ruined by the criminal behaviour of the major banks. This is the reason that I fought, along with my colleague Barry O'Sullivan, for a Royal Commission into banking. However, it has quickly become clear that the terms of reference are far too narrow and the ability of the Commission to hear evidence far too limited. That is the reason I moved earlier today to increase the time and resources of the Royal Commission and extend the terms of reference and consider the dispute resolution process. Those lenders and particular liquidators, receivers and administrators who have behaved contrary to any acceptable moral standard must be exposed and made to pay for their crimes. I'm happy to report that that motion got up.
Order. Order in the galleries. There will be an opportunity to congratulate Senator Anning later on.
However, this is only one first step. I also want to see a permanent end to the scourge of usury and rural lending. The bank's criminal treatment of so many farmers, which has led to the loss of family farms owned for generations and waves of rural suicides, must be ended once and for all. I believe that the solution is the re-establishment of the Rural Redevelopment State Banks, along the lines of the former Queensland Industry Development Corporation, established by Sir Leo Helcher, the internationally respected former Queensland Treasury Under-Secretary and the architect of Queensland's Joe-era prosperity. Like the QIDC, a Rural Development and Reconstruction Bank would not be subject to APRA lending guidelines and would be able to make lending judgments based on long-term rural property viability and not just short-term variations of commodity prices or rainfall, just like old country bank managers used to. The RDRSB would also be empowered to buy up existing so-called distressed loans from banks, saving tens of thousands of farmers from hardship and ruin. In this way, the scourge of usury and rural lending can be ended for all time. In terms of rebuilding rural incomes, the abolition of statutory marketing boards 20 years ago has generally not seen any meaningful reduction in prices for consumers, just a net wealth transfer from farmers to middlemen and giant supermarket chains. This has driven many farmers to ruin and even suicide. I'd like to see the re-establishment of orderly marketing of agricultural products via grower co-ops to allow collective bargaining by farmers for the sale of their produce. This would return to the farmers greater control of their own industries and a greater share of retail value of their products. Collectively, these measures would go a long way to rebuild our crucial rural industries.